Most people go into a ton of debt to make a big purchase, such as buying a car, paying for college, funding a business, and even just simply traveling. But not you, because in this video, I'm going to unveil to you how I teach my clients to leverage the same dollar twice by borrowing against their cash instead of depleting it, which helps them stay out of debt and all at the same time earning uninterrupted compound interest. Now, it's not as complicated as you might think. You just need to have the right tools in your tool belt to make it happen. And one really simple and honestly often overlooked financial tool that can do everything I mentioned earlier is called cash value life insurance, or more specifically, an IUL. IULs are a truly unique financial tool that can be used in so many different ways. So in this video, I'm going to share with you different stories about how some of my clients have used their IUL, including my own personal story. Now, if you don't know what an IUL is, but you like what you've heard so far and you have questions, I want to invite you to join the free masterclass that I'm hosting on Thursday, June 26th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. The downside is space is very limited, so you have to make sure you reserve your spot by clicking on the link in the description below. Now, what makes cash value life insurance, more specifically an IUL, so unique compared to any other financial instrument out there today is because it comes with two different components, the death benefit and the cash value. Now, the death benefit can only be accessed for two different reasons. One, if you were to get severely sick or injured while you're alive and it's considered something called chronic, critical, or terminal illness or an injury, then you have access to that death benefit while you are alive to pay for really anything while you're going through this unexpected medical condition or injury. Or simply if you were just to pass away, obviously the death benefit will pay out to your family, all tax-free. The cash value, on the other hand, that is truly unique. That is going to grow inside of your IUL by you overfunding the cost to own the policy. And over time, if you properly fund your IUL, that could grow a significant cash value that you can access at any point in the future, all tax-free for anything you need, like many of my clients have. And that's where the fun begins, because IULs offer a unique feature where you actually have the ability to borrow against your cash value instead of depleting it. And you can use that cash value for any purchase that you would want to make. And because of the fact that you borrowed against your cash and you didn't withdraw it or deplete it, you have the ability to put that money back into your policy at any point. You're accessing it 100% tax-free, so no taxes are owed to do the loan. And because of the fact that you did a loan, the insurance company didn't deplete your cash value, meaning you're earning interest on your cash as though the money that you borrowed out never left. Because in theory, it didn't. You're using your cash value as collateral. The insurance company is loaning you their money, which now essentially allows you to have money growing and working for you in two places at one time, earning what we call uninterrupted compound interest. Now for the real life stories for how some of my clients are using their IUL to do some of the things that we just mentioned. I've got a young client that just turned 30 years old that started his IUL a few years ago with the intent to be using the cash value at some point to fund his business. Well, he came up to an unexpected opportunity to purchase some trucks for his construction business, and he actually had the ability to borrow against the cash value in his IUL to purchase those trucks all on the spot. We submitted the form, and within 3 days, money was electronically deposited right back into the bank account that he had originally made the deposit into his IUL from. So simple. I've got another client that is in his late 30s, and he puts about $50,000 a year into his IUL. And unexpectedly, him and his wife got offered the opportunity to purchase some rental property, and they needed access to some quick cash. So again, we submitted the form. He took out an alternative loan against his policy, and within 3 days, the money was deposited right back into his bank account, and he did not deplete his cash value, still earning what we call uninterrupted compound interest. I've got another client who had started an IUL policy for her son when he was young, and when he went off to college, she was able to borrow against the cash value to help him pay for his tuition. And then when he graduated college, he needed to move to start his job, so they were able to borrow money against, again, the cash value of the policy to help him move into his new apartment and pay for moving expenses. And then they were able to start putting the money back into the policy once her son was working and bringing in income. And of course, I've got to share with you my own personal story. I have owned 2 IULs for almost a decade now, and as my business has grown over the last 8 to 10 years, now I host team retreats every single quarter with my agency, with our new people and with our veterans. And instead of taking the money from my bank account or charging it on a credit card, I have simply just borrowed against my IUL, allowing my policy to still earn uninterrupted compound interest, using that money tax-free to go and pay for the entire retreat. And then I put the money back into my IUL with the profits that come from my business that following quarter. So as you can see, there's a lot of different ways you can use the cash value inside of your IUL. Now, there are also a lot of ways that you shouldn't use the cash value inside of your IUL. I have sat down with clients that thought that the IUL came with like a debit card similar to a bank account, and they were planning to use their IUL to pay for their electric bill and to pay for groceries and to pay for expenses for their pets. To be 100% honest, I wouldn't say that I believe that is the best use of your IUL because it's not as liquid as getting money directly out of your bank account through a debit card, but more so best suited for larger purchases or larger sums of money that you might need at one time. So as you can see, after hearing all of these client scenarios, it works. But if you still have questions, I want to give you a friendly reminder that you are invited to the IUL Master Class that I am teaching live on Zoom on Thursday, June 26th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. You just have to register, and the link to do that is in the description below. But I do want to recommend that you get educated yourself before you attend. So I've linked 2 videos here that will dive more into how IULs work. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss another video teaching you about unique concepts and financial tools like the IUL. And I'll catch you back here next week on YouTube.